Okay, we're starting again here. So we have the churn dash that I showed. Sorry about that. I hit my camera and it turned off on us. And so I'll figure out how to get those all put together. So that's the churn dash. This is another quilt I made. I do a lot with Jody Barrows and Square in the Square. And this is a larger pattern in her book. But I just made a small one. I wanted just a small throw. And this is Liz's quilt. And then in the middle, I did an embroidery. Oops, it's upside down. I'll show it to you. It's one of my favorite verses. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15 is the center. Again, scraps that I had. Some of these are really old. I mean, I bet some of you ladies may still have that in your stash too. But I just pulled out some scraps and made that. So I definitely need to do that. I don't think I have a backing for that yet. So that is just a small, let me fold it three-way because of the embroidery in there. That's one that I have. So what are we up to here? 1, 2, 3, 4. This makes 5 sitting over here in the stack to be quilted. And I may use that cream on the back there as well. I think there might be enough for both of those quilts with that. This is another one I had leftover fabric from a quilt and curtains that I had made for my daughter's room when we first moved in our home. And this is another Lori Dickerson pattern that she has out on her website. Easy. Oh, so easy to make. And the applique, her templates worked out so beautifully. As you can see, the applique. And just to give you an idea, this is the block right here. It just has square triangles and blocks. Easy to make. So there is another one that I need to get quilted on that one. Let's see what I have here. I've got some teal backing. This was a sew-along by Edita Sitar. She had used her book, something in blue. The second one, though, I believe it is Patches of Blue, maybe. It's the one it was. Let me look. I want to say it was this one. And I may be wrong. It may be the other one. Let me see. I think it's whichever is her second book. Yeah, this is, I think, her first book, Patches of Blue. So I think it's the second one. I thought I had it over here too. Handful of scraps. So it might be that one. I was thinking it might be the second one. I have it over there. I'm doing the non-patch quilt. But this was the sew-along for that. I think I have it up right. So each month she put out a new block that we worked on, and then we put it together. This is a lot of scraps also. So you can see this block was beautiful. I really enjoyed making this block. She has a quilt in the book of this block. And these were almost, you can see, you can put your finger under them. It's got like a little 3D to it. Beautiful block. And we had a whole row of them. Could you imagine? Look at those. Scrappy. What those would look like in a quilt all together. I really enjoyed making that block. And it wasn't that hard. You would think it is. I also have her Aki quilt cubes. What's it called? The specialty kit by her. And it has all of her, it cuts this block perfectly. And that's what I used. So I didn't have to use templates. And then this is her other one. I love this quilt block also. that one would make a beautiful quilt also. So this is just, and then I have her die that cuts all of her leaves and all of her floral that she uses for applique. If you don't like using templates, I highly recommend the AccuQuilt and doing her dies. But yeah, and this block is huge. Could you imagine? You can make a whole quilt with this star block. See it? It's huge. But just real fun. So I need to get that one quilted. It's been sitting over here for a while. It would make a nice spring throw. So there's another quilt top. And I think I was going to put that teal on the back of it. Oh, this one I found in my closet. This is when I first started quilting. So this was made back in the 90s when I first started. And you know, sometimes you need to pull out something that you did when you first started. It just shows you the progress that you've made. This was a stack and whack. I took a class. Thought it was the coolest things when it first started coming out. But you will see that it's pretty, but you're going to see where my blocks don't really line up too good. But I put them together. I didn't care. So this is the stack and whack, and you can see how it makes these blocks, but not all of my, like here, they're not all together, but it's okay. I have kept it together because it's a symbol of where I came from, where I started, the troubles I had. See here, this is not matching up, but that's okay. It'll be a nice throw on the couch. It's beautiful. I actually have some buttons that I thought, hey, I could put that on there and maybe use those on it. I haven't decided, but I am going to quilt it. It'll be a nice throw to use. I'm not going to waste that fabric. Another scrap. This is using a jelly roll I had, and this is another Lori Dickerson pattern that she has on her website and has a YouTube on it as well. A lot of fun. This was really easy. You just have to make sure you lay out your blocks because I did sew one together wrong and had to take it all apart. But it uses up a jelly roll, and it makes such a pretty design. Do you see the interlocking chains? It is just so much fun. I had no idea what I was going to do with this jelly roll, so made that. Need to get that one quilted. So much fun. Another one. And like I said, she's on YouTube. Has a wonderful YouTube channel. I have a lot of things that I've made using her patterns. This one I also found in my closet. When we moved, I had a bin when I first started quilting. Another class when I was living closer to town. Now I live out in the middle of nowhere. There's no quilt guilds or anything around me, really. This is the string quilt. You know, you just sew it all together, all different sizes, and you get out all your strips and you make a string quilt, all the different colors. So each block is a color family, as you can see: purple, reds, teals, browns. Just a fun, scrappy quilt. Sew it all together. Nice throw. So there's another one. I haven't decided if I need to put a border on it. I may not. I may just back it and put a black binding. Bind it in black all the way around to go around it. Another throw. Let's see. What else I have in here? A lot of Frankenstein batting and backings. I am missing a quilt. I wonder where it went. Where's my houses? Oh, I got it quilted. So I did get that. I'll show that to you in a minute. This is my another sew along. I think this is Juliet by Adidas Tatar. Again, I had a fat quarter bundle, two from Quilting a Day when I was in the fat quarter monthly. You know, you get a monthly packet of fat quarters when they were reasonable and you could afford them, and now they're just so expensive. I mean, I think I got the fat quarters of the month, and they were like $19, if that tells you anything, per month at Quilting a Day. And so I had all these in a drawer, and I thought I really need to use them. And I had two sets of these fat quarters, and purple is my favorite color. My daddy was in the military, so poppies had a really special part in my life for veterans. So when I saw this purple and red poppy that matched it all, I was like, yeah. So this is my Juliet. Let's see if it's upside down or not. I don't think it is. Alright, so I believe that's what this one is. The big star in the center makes a huge, huge star. Don't know if you can see it. It's a huge quilt. I need to get it on the, but just to give you an idea, each star had a different, like a purple one. There is the red and green one. Another star. And then the big star just has all these colors in it. There's my little purple bird. All my leaves. So I didn't even make my leaves, so everything's scrappy. There's another purple and green. Each star was different, but all of them are from that fat quarter. And then all of those parts are in the big star. These colors are in the big star. And then there's the florals and solids and marbled. And the last one, I think, it's right there. I think that's where I started, yes. There's the purple and green. Yeah, that's where I started. Alright, so that quilt is another monster of a quilt. I think this was the last really big quilt I made, and now I am making smaller ones because I really don't need any more big quilts. Alright, so let's put that one up. And so that one is Juliet. I have a purple, this is the backing that's going to go on that one. A pretty purple vine that I got for it. Put that back in the bag. I'll have to probably repress. I'll get ready to go and get that one quilted. That one's in there. Alright, so there's one. Alright, this one is 2, 3, 4. This one, it's fun. 5, and like I said, that was fat quarters that I had. I just wanted to use up. I'm trying to use up what I've got. 5. Showed you all that one. Right. Showed you that one. I don't know if that was in the first video, but I'll put it on here again. Another Lori Dickerson. And that one. And I will add links to her website and her YouTube page for you if you'd like to check her out. She's really good with using up your scraps. She's got I actually use her system on cutting up my scraps. I have my bins made for that. This one, I think I showed you, was a square in the square with Jody Barrows. Liz's Gift is the name of the pattern. And then, like I said, I just put a verse in the center with my embroidery machine. And put that in the center. This is really my colors here. I like the dark and the... I'm not really big on white as a background. I use it if I'm using certain colors, but I'm more what you call the muddy colors, where you'd use a cream. And then the churn dash, I know that was in the first video and y'all didn't get to see that, but the churn dash was done, and it's a huge churn dash when it comes out. It's all these different blocks, And again, I used scraps. Look, I got roosters. This one's blue. There is nothing blue in my house. Nothing. But I had all these scraps. And I was going to use some of these blues. All these fat quarters that I had. So, again, another set of fat quarters. You see all the blocks. I just made this, and there's another rooster. Another one. So, but it makes a huge, even the center, I want you to see, I didn't even use the same backgrounds. So see, you had to use these neutrals. So there's two different ones. This one has a different background. It's using this as well as this. So yeah, a lot of different backgrounds. Everything's really scrappy. And that. So that's the churn dash. That needs to be done. Did y'all remember my count? I don't remember my count either. I think this is 7, wasn't it? It needs to be quilted. And those two will use that cream. I also have a cream sheet, and I even thought I had this flannel sheet down here, and I'm really thinking about putting this flannel sheet on. My husband gets cold in the winter because I keep a fan going constantly in our bedroom, and I'm thinking about putting this flannel sheet on and making that his night quilt to put on the bed because of the flannel will keep him warm. And it's just again, the fitted sheet got a hole in it, so this is the top sheet that we had. So it's really soft. I think that's what I'll do with that one. And then I showed you at the beginning. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 quilts. Then of course my daughter's pickle dish I showed you. That's 9. You know, I'm using the sheet to back hers. Again, there's hers. I just love this. I pressed it with some Best Press. I just love the smell. I buy the scented Best Press. I know a lot of people don't like scents on their quilt. It just smells so good. I'm sorry. I can sit here and sniff this quilt for a while. Alright, so that's hers. And like I said, I was using her sheet that was left over from her bed. I'm using that on the back of hers. That makes 9. And then I had showed these initially. Another Lori Dickerson quilt. These are the blocks that are in it. It was just using up what I have in my closet here that I want to get organized as well. I'm deciding on the backing, but I'm probably going to piece it with those blocks, a little bit of blue, but pink was the mauve that was left over, and that pink stripe that was left over. I think I'm going to bind it in the stripes here that I have. Where this stuff comes from, I don't know. A lot of it is from estate sales, and I do love estate sales. I get some nice fabric from it. But this is the one block, one top that makes very crazy. My husband was like, oh, that's dizzy. And I said, yeah, but it'll make a nice beach quilt for our daughter in her little pup tent that she sits in when we're on the beach and watches her Scooby-Doo. So there's the blocks. And there it is from far away. There's 2 of them. I'm planning just to sew them together, make a long little beach quilt for her, and bind it, back it, bind it, quilt it. Probably do some kind of crazy spiral quilting on it. Earlier I mentioned I have a long arm. It's Quinique 19X Elite from Grace. Love it. If you get the monthly subscription to I can't even think now, Open Gate Quilt Box. This was June's pattern. I don't know if anyone's made it yet. From the peach into those blocks is the kit that came in. I got in contact with Monique and was able to get more of that teal to put around to make an extra border on it so it could be a baby quilt. And then I also got the backing kit, and the extra teal down the center will make a perfect backing for it. And that's the first thing going on my quilt machine today. I'm going to try and load that to start quilting that. So you have seen all the quilts that I have over here that need to be quilted. Oh, I didn't show you the little brown, but this is some extra fabric from it. I have, like I said, a stack of sheets down here that I will use for backing. I must get those up out of my way so that I can get into my quilt machine. On that. Then I cleaned out my closet of sheets. All of these are 100% cotton. And we don't use them in the top sheets where the, you know, the fitted sheet gets out first. So, and then I have a bunch of flannel here that I think, like these little butterflies, I think I'm going to make some burp cloths. I have a lady at church getting ready to have a baby. So then I'm going to make her some burp cloths with these to put over her shoulder and just use them for burp cloths. My daughter's big in Scooby-Doo. I've made her a quilt. So I have these extra Scooby-Doos. And I'm getting ready to use this to make her a hand guard. She, as I mentioned, has anxiety due to her disability, and so I have a hand guard, and I'm getting ready to take it apart and use it as a pattern to make her some Scooby-Doo hand guards so that she doesn't bite through her skin when she gets anxious and bites her hand. So that's what this is, and we'll put this here out of my way. All right. You can kind of see I have things everywhere, and I really need to get in here and get these quilted. I'm trying to think what else I have here that I could show you, if anything. Pretty much that's my quilts for right now. This is, I will show you this one, but this one's going to be hand quilted. This is one of the quilts. I got this through Rose Be Gone. She's also on YouTube, and I'll put a link in the bottom to her channel as well. But just let her know I sent you her way. She is a wonderful woman up in Wisconsin area, in the Amish country, and shows a lot of Amish quilts that the Amish are making. They're all beautiful. I've purchased 2 from her. This is one that I've purchased that I wanted to hand quilt, and then I also have one on my bed upstairs that I'll take you one day and show you that. It's called Rondelay. Absolutely beautiful hand quilting quilt that I got from the Amish. If you are interested in, you know, purchasing a quilt because you don't know how to make a quilt, or you just want something hand quilted, she puts on every week where she goes and sees what they have that's commissioned to. You can buy just the top, you can buy it completely finished, up to you. But this one is one that I got, and it is huge. I'm not going to unfold the whole thing, but I will show you the pattern of it so you can see. It is just, it's called Mountain Echo, and let's see, I'll hold it up. Let's see if you can see. You see how it looks like almost lights. They also call it light in the window, I think. Some of them do. But it's called Mountain Echo. It is stunning. This is the quilt. Do you see all those tiny little pieces? You know, sometimes you think, why would you buy a quilt? You can make it. I tell my husband, there's no way I'm going to sit down, excuse me, and make this. All of these tiny pieces, and to get this echoing, it's just stunning. Look at this. it's just stunning. It's in purples and teals. I got it to put it in my daughter's, on my daughter's bed, but it's way, way too big. It's king sized. I did not realize it was going to be so big when I got it. And they put the borders on because I had asked for borders on it. And it is a monster. You can see me trying to fold it up. It is a monster of a quilt. Heavy. This top is so heavy because of all those tiny little pieces. Just want you to know. So worth the money when you're getting this, because you look at the workmanship and you look at the time spent in this. It is beautiful. Just beautiful. But definitely, if you're interested in an Amish made quilt, I will have the link below for Rose Be Gone, and I would highly recommend you check her out. Very honest woman, very nice to work with, to be able to get an Amish quilt, especially if you have no Amish in your area, or even if you do that aren't quilting. So, but that is my show for today. Just wanted to share a few things with you as I'm cleaning out my sewing room. Give you an idea of my upcoming projects. Let me turn you around. You can see my mess, and we'll walk this way. My upcoming projects that I have, let me drop you down with me. There we go. All right, so what do I have coming up to work on? The biggest one I want to get done first is my Prairie home quilt. I have all my log cabins made, the big ones and the small ones. That's an extra block, but these are the small log cabins for it. These are the big ones for it. So the next thing to do, and this is of course by Holt. This is the quilts that I'm making. I've got all this done. I need to work on this part. So the next part, I believe that I have marked, is the trees. Yes. So I have to start working on the pine blocks, which I have lots of greens. I'm getting ready to pull those. So I'm going to be working on this block right here for the quilt. And I think there's 3 of those. And then there's another little pine tree that's kind of in there. So there's 4 little pine trees. And then I will be working on the crow that sits on top of the house. This is moon block. And then I get to start working on the cabin. And there's a lot to the cabin, but I will get it. I need to pull out my fabrics. I'm going to be using, of course, some wood grains to make the cabin actually look like a cabin. And get that done next so that I can get this quilt top together and get working on it. But here's the quilt top finished, if you would like to see. This is what it'll look like. So I have all of these done. I have all of these done. So I'm going to be working on the trees and the crows next. And then we'll be going into the cabin and finish these stars. And I don't believe I have any of these stars left. But I don't know. I may have to look and see if I have any of my pansy stars left in my bag. And if not, I know I have plenty of that pansy fabric. I can make more. I know I have one that I can definitely use. But I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So they will definitely go in there somewhere. For sure. So that's where we're at for my next block to be working on, my next quilt. And after I get that one done, I plan to work on my Bicentennial. I do have this. It is the Riley Blake, the Bicentennial. These are I got from Riley Blake. United We Stand. I want to use that. And then I've already cut apart the panel for the blocks. And there's like the Liberty Bell. There is the USS Constitution. And then, of course, in Congress, that little block. And 1776, the Bicentennial flag, that little block as well. So I've got the panel cut apart. I've got my background pulled out. I don't plan to make it like theirs that they did because they had all this blue background and all. I did purchase this layer cake that I really fell in love with, and I'm going to probably use to make the star points to go around those panel blocks. I'm kind of designing this myself the way I want it to look. I did get the Independence fabric from Fat Quarter Shop. But I really like it. I'm not sure what's this line that she had. This is the, hold on, I'll tell you. That's also from Riley Blake Designs. Yeah, the Independence, I thought it was. That went with the Riley Blake panel. So I got the blue fabric as well. I believe I also got that panel from Fat Quarter Shop as well. But these are so pretty. I got this layer cake off of Amazon. And only because I loved what it, like I told you, I like that muddy look. So I'll just show you a few of these. This is the Statue of Liberty, United States. There's another one behind it. There's several repeats of these, but I'll show you the main ones. The eagle and the flag. Another, I just love these. Bicentennial. This is beautiful. This is one of the things. The Declaration of Independence. We the people. And I think those are all of the patterns because we're starting to repeat now. But yeah, those are the patterns. Wait a minute. I think this one's different. Is that one different than the first one? Let me see. Yes, the flag's darker. Here's another one with Statue of Liberty and the American flag. This one with the inkwell. And I want to say this is the Bible laying here. It's got a cross on it, but I may be wrong. In the inkwell in the United States. You know, in God we trust. Our White House on there. Another one. The Statue of Liberty. This one with the presidential seal and the flag and the White House. I thought that was really pretty. Oh, this one's one of my favorites too. This is the Liberty Bell. I just love that. Just love it. See it a little bit closer. It's just beautiful. Gorgeous. I think we're starting back over now. Yeah. The rest of these are repeats of the same thing. I'll show you that one. Let me see if I've had that one. Yes. So now we're back into the repeats. Liberty Bell. So I got those, and I got those in the 10-inch squares and in a jelly roll. Now, the only thing with the jelly roll, that it's not a full-length jelly roll, so they cut the jelly roll in half. But you get the full jelly roll, but it's just cut in half. It doesn't come complete one continuous. But all of those same fabrics are in the jelly roll. And they're very nice. You know, you get them off of, sometimes you think with Amazon that they're going to be really expensive, bad fabric, but it's really nice fabric. The jelly roll did have a lot of lint, which most jelly rolls do. But price-wise, it was very reasonable. I think the jelly roll maybe have been $19. for that. And I think the same thing for the layer cake. So that is what I want to do for my Independence one. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to make stars with those panel blocks on that. So I have that. And then I got upcoming ideas for patterns. And these were my upcoming ideas. I have them all in the thing, the books. So funny. Alright, so these are my 4 big ticket item, I guess you can say, big quilts I want to make. I still want to make the Common Bride by Adita Sitar. I still want to make that. I absolutely love it. She has all the videos that go with it. Plan to make that. And I want to make, this one is by Jan Patek. It's Sleigh Bells. It's a folk art. I absolutely love this. And I have a lot of dark fabrics, Civil War fabrics. I really, really want to make this. It is just, it's just so cute. I mean, like, here's one. This is the snowman basket that's in it. Very primitive. Here's the, oops, excuse me. Here's the angel that's in it. That's a block. The little deer in the woods block. Is that? Yeah, I just dropped all my other books. So definitely want to do all that for that. And I want to do, go. I'll be back in just a minute. My grandson. The Quilted Farm Girl. I'm a big time farm girl. I want to do this. I plan to change a few things in there. I'm the goat quilter, so it's got to have a goat in there. And I have goats, so there's got to be a goat. You see all my farm animals up here, up top here? All those animals have to be in this quilt top. So I will most likely be taking out some of these basic little stars. And there's going to be a pig. There's going to be a goat. There's going to be a cow. Chickens are on there, but there's not my goat, pigs, and cows. And I'm going to need a turkey. And I need a duck. Those are all my little critters. And a rabbit. I think she has a little bunny. So all of those will go on my Farm Girl quilt when I make that. And then the last one I want to make is by Joe Morton. And it is, I haven't decided on this if I'm going to do it in wool or if I'm going to use cotton like she does for it. Honestly, I will probably do it in wool. But this is her floral album. I really, really want to make that. I think it's gorgeous. But I don't want to do any more needle turn applique. I'm in the middle of a needle turn applique right now. And I have decided that is not my niche. It's beautiful. I love it. I love the handwork time. It's just not my thing. If I'm going to do applique, it's going to be raw applique or it's going to be wool. I love doing wool applique. I don't have one up here. I have mine over there, that the Christmas one I'm doing. I love doing wool. There's no fraying. I don't have to worry about it. I can put it in place and do my blanket stitch. So this one, yes, will probably be wool as well. I'm going to do it in wool. I need to use up some wool that I have, and I think it'll be really pretty. So those are my upcoming adventures. I guess we all have a drawer that has those in there, and so I have a little bin with those in there. Right now, my big YouTube watch is Lori Holt's Scrappiness is Happiness. Scrap Up Your Stash, all the blocks that she's been showing, and I just want to make them. And there's so many pretty quilts in here that I just think are adorable, and I really want to make. I want to make the Scrappy Crossroads for sure because I have so many blocks. I love her the way she cuts her blocks as well and how she stores them. This is her shortcut star quilt. I want to make it. That's one that I thought was really pretty in the book. I definitely want to just do a 64 patch. If you don't know what that is, this is her 64 patch. It's just nothing but scraps. And how many of us have all these scrap squares? And I just want to make one. I just think they're beautiful. I just love scrappy. That's something I would like to do. Let's see what else. There was another one in here. I have all these greens, and I just think this is cute. It's her little tree quilt, and I'm like, look at that. I live in the middle of a forest. I thought, how cute would that be? And then I thought, well, I could do that and make it my backing to my log cabin one. But just so many cute little quilts in here. And what surprised me is she was showing one. I think it's this one. Yes, it is this one. This one, she used linen for her borders, and her sashing is a linen, and she talks about how she just pre-washed it really good, and then she put it on there and had no issues with the linen and the cotton mix on her quilt. And it's a beautiful quilt. Look at this. It is so pretty. Fat Quarter Shop has a video, and I'll link it to the bottom of this, where she shows all these quilts and talks about them with the Fat Quarter Shop. So that would be, I mean, that to me is so pretty. And this is another one that she did, her tulip, her patchwork tulip block. I really loved it. And she did that also. I don't have linen, but I thought that was really neat that this also is done with linen in the background. And this is the actual quilt. But she shows this on the video as well. And I'll try and link that as well below so you can see that. But yeah, so those are some of the quilts that have really caught my eye this past month. But I'm going to also make a video here soon and show you all of these quilt kits I have that I really need to get busy on and get those made as well. So that is another area. So all right. Thank you for stopping by and seeing what is on my plate to make. And I hope you all have a very blessed day. It's raining here. So I'm going to try and get some things cleaned up. And I'm going to start pulling out my fabrics and put them on those comic book boards. Remember I told you I bought a box of those? And I really want to organize my scrap closet so I can see exactly what's in there and color-wise. After watching Lori's videos, I want to pull out and start getting my boxes here as well. I have them all underneath here for my different size scrap box. Here's how I kind of store them. Oops, knocked one over. Like this one is my 2.5 inch box. I just cut my squares and they go in here. She stores them by colors, and I thought, well, that makes sense. So that way when you go in here, you're not rooting through all your stack, and you can just pick them out by colors. So I need to really organize it better after watching her on that. So, but right now I just have them in here from where I've cut up fat quarters or pieces that I had of scrap, and they're just in here however they were cut. I actually have an AccuQuilt die that cuts 2.5 inch squares, and I truly just slap my fabric on there and put it through the die cutter. I'm not cutting these by rotary cutter, not when I have my die that does it for me. I have a die pretty much for every one of these sizes that I can do. Like that's my 2.5. I think this bin is a strip bin full of strips that need. Yeah, this is just some scrap strips. Oh, and this was left over from a teen quilt I made. This was the cutoffs, and I cut all of these into these 1-inch, 1.5-inch half square triangles. Yes, I did. So this is my bin. There's some more. That quilt I showed you, this was the cutoffs, and I made half square triangles out of all of those. So I have a whole stack of those peach and black half square triangles as well. And I will probably put all of those, because they're the right size for the sew along and that Lisa Bongine did, that used half square triangles, and we made 9 sets each month. I never did get through all of the sets, but I have a bunch of them over there in a bin to put together for a throw. I didn't want to make that great big quilt that she had made. It's beautiful. So I might just throw them in that and use it in that, so they're already made in several sets. So these are just like the bins that I use. I get them at the dollar store, and I just put them in there. I have a label maker, and I made my label for it. Lori Dickerson is who I started off with in watching on how to scrap up your stash. I followed her system, and I also like Lori Holt's system, and may add the 7-inch cuts that she uses, because she goes to those a lot with her quilts, and I thought that makes sense to cut them in that also, and have that in there, and to have specific strips sets also cut 2.5, 1.5, those. And I had the die, AccuQuilt die, that cuts 2.5-inch strips and 1.5-inch strips, so I may do that too with some of my fabrics in here and get them cut up to where I can use them in these quilts. All right, you all have a blessed day. Hope that gives you a little insight of what my craziness is in my quilt room. God bless, and see you next time. Bye.